I suppose you're here to listen to that story again. What's the one? Oh, yes. The story of me and how I lost track of things. Well, let's begin. Introductions as always. I'm, as you may already know, the Storm. Oh, Trevor, but shh, don't tell anyone about that. Anyways, I'm the Storm and I'm 4,054 years old. Telling the story, I must have been 145 when it all began. Now that introductions are out of the way, I'll jump straight into it. It all started roughly, 3,919 years ago. It was a day like any other on the planet Galifrey. A planet of skies like orange fire. A field of grass that would burn in the sun's rays. Just thinking about the beauty now makes me tear up a bit. Anyways, me and my family of 4 lived in Galifrey's second city of Arcadia. My wife would stay at home with the children, and I'd address the council meetings with the president of Galifrey. That's all. But that isn't what this story is about. I'd like to say that I worked in a government with men who wanted nothing more but to protect their people. I'd like that. No. On one night, the skies were a misty black. The weather was frigid, but I did not feel cold. Thanks to the engineers at Galifrey, the dome would keep us warm when it's cold. I'd walk down the streets from the Galifreyan temple. Making my way down the stairs, I look out into the darkness as I make my way down the street towards where my house is. I'd pull from my pocket a rigid key that would have symbols on it. Placing it into the keyhole, I'd turn it to the left. The door would go as I open it. I'm greeted by a cheer.
Dad! How was work?
My youngest daughter. She was 18 years old and already there is a word of war. Earlier that day at our standard meeting, Rassilon would barge in.
Brothers, sisters, today is the day we put an end to the scum trying to one-up us. It is time we end the disgust of the Dalek race.
And if I have to destroy this whole side of the galaxy to do it, then so be it.
As the rest of the council would cheer, my eyebrows would raise at him. Saying this, I have a family, kids, a loving wife. I wasn't ready to let all that be taken from me. As I would close the door behind me, blocking off the view of the outer Galifreyan streets, my wife would walk from the kitchen as she'd approach me from the mahogany wooden arch.
Late as usual, are we, loving Storm?
I'd look to her, placing my arms around her.
You know me like none other, Fern.
She'd smile, leaving a kiss on my face as she'd make her way to the kitchen.
Well, has he received news?
As my wife's ears would perk up, she'd shout,
Blizzard, get down here. Father is asking how the trial went today.
as my son would come rambling down the stairs.
Dad, it was brilliant. The temple must have been at least 500 feet high, and it was laced with gold and diamonds, and the council I met with, they were lovely.
As I'd make my way to the chair, I'd sit on it, arching down. I'd listen to him go on, smiling as I'd stop him midway.
So they signed you, I take it?
He'd look at me and smirk a bit.
They address me as Blizzard now, Father.
I'd smile at him again.
I'll take that as a yes, my son.
He'd nod and Fern would make her way in, holding a bottle of champagne. She'd pop it open and begin to pour the drink into the separate glasses. I'd look to my loving daughter, Akanita.
Go on, then.
She'd smile, taking a hold of the glass of wine as we'd all send it to the middle, where glasses would clink off of each other.
Cheers!
Cheers!
My family all happy. Blizzard, Fern, Akanita, I'm sorry. The night went on, followed by a marvellous feast on our wooden table. Chicken, pork, fire apples, juices from the baruta tree. Such wonderful delights. I looked to my wife.
You prepared all this as if you knew he'd get in.
She'd smirk and swerve her hair to the side with her hand. My wife, she was beautiful, you know. She was 5'8" with long flowing blonde hair, blue crystal eyes, and she'd always wear a long white gown. She knew how much I enjoyed seeing her in it. It was a gift for our 20th. She'd say to me,
You say that like son of Fern had no chance. He's our son. He had the job the moment he stepped on the temple stairs, and you know it, husband. Did you ever have any doubt in him?
I'd let off a little chuckle with my mouth full, nodding along with it.
Aye, that I do, wife, that I do. I had no doubt.
Later at night, me, my children and wife would all be in bed. I'd hear a loud ringing sound, quickly sending my head up, making my way downstairs. It's the emergency phone. This couldn't have been good. I'd send my finger to the button, a hologram of the chief commander would appear on it.
I hope I'm not interrupting, Storm.
He'd say to me with a narrow expression.
Not at all, do continue.
I'd look to him with concern.
You and 30 others know this information, Storm. War has been declared. The Dalek fleet is already advancing from Skaro. By the time the morning comes, the whole planet will be on red alert. The sky trenches will be up and holding them off. There is, however, a 1 in 100 chance they will break through. But, just in case they do, Storm, you'll need to fight. Families will be lost. I cannot promise the safety of yours.
As my jaw would tighten, my teeth gritting together, clenching my fist and looking directly at the hologram.
What the hell do you mean you can't promise my family safety?
He'd look down and back to me now.
Storm, you're a great friend, I won't lie to you. If the Daleks make it through, hell will break loose. Weapons have been tried against the Daleks. All have failed.
My eyes would grip shut, a tear running down my face.
You mean to tell me, if they break through those trenches, we're all going to die?
As he'd look at me, not being able to continue, the call drops.
Have hope, husband.
My head would shoot up, quickly turning to see Fern in the doorway.
How long have you been there?
She'd make her way closer to me, setting herself on the floor alongside me, placing her tender kiss on my forehead.
A wife can feel every movement her husband makes at night. When you're having a bad dream and you need to be held, even when you can't sleep, this war will break out. But I have hope in you and the Council and the Sky Trenches.
I'd looked down in disbelief, but I knew I had to be strong for her.
Thank you.
She'd take me into her arms. We'd both leaned back, laying on the floor. We slept there that night. I was too scared to move. Just thinking about it. The metallic pepper pots making their way through the streets, killing millions and millions. They wouldn't care. They would never fucking care. The next day, I woke up in my bed. Fern must have carried me. She's such a sweetheart. The air would be scented from the smell of meat from the Nurkis pig. She knows it's my favourite breakfast. I'd make my way downstairs to see my daughter's making her way to tutoring.
One day, I'll join the council, just like you and brother. I'll make you proud, Dad.
She says as she rushes out the door. And Blizzard was up and out the door for work even before myself. I'd sit down at the table and watch my wife cook, staring at her body, making my way behind her, holding her waist, pulling her in for a close embrace.
I love you, you know. I really do, Fern.
She turned to me and kissed my face.
Hurry and eat your breakfast. Rassilon's calling an early meeting today.
I sit down and begin to take bites from the meal she'd prepared. Within seconds the meal would be gone, and I'd have made my way upstairs, showered and clothed for work.
I'll see you later, okay?
Kissing my wife's head before making my way out the door, I'd begin to walk down the street, noticing something.
It's really silent today.
I'd mutter to myself, not seeing the streets as filled as usual. As I'd make my way down the street, it would look like it's almost growing, taking me longer and longer to walk to work than usual. Looking up, I would hear a scream and a cry.
Help! It's Dad, please! Help! Ah! Help! Dad, please, help!
Looking around, hearing the sound of what would be my son's voice.
What the... Son, where are you?
I'd quickly turn.
Halt! Stay where you are! Do not move!
There it would be. A golden, metallic Dalek I'd fear to see. I'd scream.
What? No. They said the ship hadn't arrived yet.
As my wife would be running from behind it now, not being able to move, I'd managed to scream.
No! No!
What? It was a dream.
Oh, thank God. Oh, my God. Oh, thank goodness.
As I'd look up from the dinner table, the breakfast my wife had made for me would be gone. With this, I'd look up and see her still cooking for herself. As I'd make my way over to her and hold her close.
Storm? Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I'd shake my head and rub it a little.
Nothing. It's just a bad dream.
I'd repeat what I did in the dream, making my way, showering and leaving. I'd look to the streets, this time more filled with life. I'd let off a smile with relief.
What a relief. Order. May the meeting of the Lords commence. Calling to the stand, President Rassilon.
My Time Lord brothers and sisters, last night I received news the Dalek ship fleet is advancing. With 6,000 ships, our sky trenches stand a 74% chance. They will hold, but we have no idea for how long.
Please, everyone be calm. Though that may be the statistics, the chances of their fleet holding off against our weapons will give a boost to the trenches by another 20%. We have hope, and we shouldn't over-worry.
Rassilon would look to me and smile.
Yes. Like he said, there is a chance of us making it through this, my children. The Dalek scum will pay with their very existence. Galifrey is secure!
The meeting went on for another 2 hours. My son got his first chance to stand and pitch his ideas of how he thinks the thing should be handled.
Weapons testing should have more correct funding. Taking our time off undercity maintenance and putting our best men to work for stronger weapons should be key. We are Timelords of Galifrey, not children.
I was so proud. He pitched many new ideas, as did the newcomers that day. It's sad to think if the trenches don't hold, there won't be many days for the newcomers to come. Days pretty much went the same like this for another month. We'd go to work, my son would climb the ladder in politics, and his ideas would be taken into consideration more and more every day. But one day, Rassilon stood up in the meeting.
Just to make this clear to you all, no use of TARDIS travel will be used within the next coming months. Do I make myself clear?
Everyone would begin to panic and shout during the meeting. I'd stand up and call it to an end.
Time Lord Council meeting is adjourned.
Still all fussing around, I'd make my way to the door, grabbing Blizzard along with me, as me and him would both walk down the street.
It's bullshit, Dad.
As I'd look to Blizzard, we'd be sat at our dinner table, alongside Fern and Agneta.
Mind your mouth.
Oh, I bloody well won't.
I'd looked at him with narrowed eyebrows.
Listen, I can't help that TARDIS use is banned. Why Rassilon won't let families evacuate is beyond me. Just don't question it. You're part of the council now, Blizzard. Get used to it.
Pathetic.
As he'd get up from the table, leaving his dinner, stomping his way up the stairs. From this, I dropped my knife and covered my face with one hand.
Agneta, honey, could you clear the table? Me and Daddy need to talk.
Okay, Mother. I love you both.
She'd begin to take the plates to the kitchen. My wife would switch into the seat next to me.
Listen, you didn't like how they worked when you first started there.
Me cutting her off quickly.
Fern, listen, I love you. But this is different. Rassilon is practically sending us to our deaths if the Daleks get through.
I'd look down as a tear would run down my face.
Now listen, I know you'll do what's right. You always do. Have hope.
I'd nod to her in agreement. I didn't sleep much that night. Or the next night for that matter. Ideas of the war breaking out running through my head. I'd be too scared to sleep in case I have that dream again. I don't want to lose them.
Storm, wake up. It's stratagem day.
As I'd quickly swoosh out of bed and run down the stairs and out the door. Followed by Blizzard, we both rushed to work as Akanita would shout,
What about breakfast? Dad!
I'd turn to her and wave with a smile. Her eyes would roll as she'd go back inside.
Council meeting called to order. Calling Chief Commander Kirok to the stand.
Friends, brothers, sisters, today at 500 hours Sataka was attacked. The Dalek ships have made it to the atmosphere of Galifrey, and they're on their way to Arcadia next. The city is now on red alert. Schools have been shut off, and all workers are being armed and prepared. I suggest you all make your way to the battle stations, and get ready to man the trenches. If Arcadia falls, only Galifrey's third and fourth city pose a threat. God have pity on all of us today.
In complete shock, no one would say a word. Not a single word. Blizzard would sit there and stare at me in shame. And I'd stand up and quickly run from the stand, as I'd not be able to hear a thing.
Someone help!
Screams would be seen around me, but my hearing would be blocked off itself. Grabbing Blizzard, I'd run out of the temple and down the steps.
We're getting out of here tonight.
Check the radar, please, soldier. Rassilon is having a fit of worry.
Will do, sir. Just the trenches?
Yeah, that will be enough to put him at ease.
Commander, what's up there in the trench?
It can't be.
Contact Rassilon. Tell him what has happened.
A voice would be played through the main console that day. I heard it was this voice alone that made history, as a statement of war from the Daleks.
Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
I heard word this is how the first sighting went. This is how the fall of Arcadia happened. A Dalek was spotted on the trenches, then hundreds, and thousands, literally thousands swarmed in like a pack of noof hornets racing through the sky. Arcadia didn't last another 5 hours.
Right, grab everything you can, Fern. Grab all the tools, the weapons, the food, just anything, goddammit!
As Blizzard would be running down the stairs with a metallic tin box.
I thought, since Grandpa left these, we should use them.
Blizzard, you take the mic. The pen always was something I knew how to use.
Sending my hand for the pen, ramming it into my pocket, as he'd do the same with the mic.
Right, stick with me, and be careful.
Fern would take hold of my hand, tears falling from her eyes as she'd hold onto Agnita's hand too.
Right.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
As we'd barge the door open, 2 Dalek soldiers would be seen turned away from us, shooting an innocent family. Blizzard would try and run to help, but I'd pull him back, shouting as the Dalek would be turning towards us. I'd quickly pull all of us behind the wall. We'd run and scramble towards the temple, making our way up the steps now.
Exterminate!
The steps would be cracked like broken porcelain. We'd all hover up the stairs, dodging the chunks taken out. I'd hear the scream. My wife's hand letting go as I turned back in fear. Her leg would be snapped out of place and lodged into a hole amongst the stairs.
No, please, I have to get you out. We can't wait.
As she'd scream in pain, she would then instantly stop, looking up at me with tears in her eyes.
Please, Storm, take your TARDIS. Don't let them stop you. Please don't let them take our kids away. Please, go on without me. I'll be fine.
As I'd shout at her with tears running down my face.
Oh, you idiot, Fern, they'll kill you. I'd love you so much, I can't leave you here.
She'd look at me and smile a bit.
You're a fool, Storm. I'm your wife, Fern. Wife of Storm and mother to Blizzard. 2 of the greatest Time Lords to ever live. Now save my children, husband, or you'll be dealing with something a lot worse than the Daleks.
I'd place a kiss on her forehead, still crying.
No. I'm coming back for you. You hold on. As soon as they're safe in the TARDIS, I'll be back. I swear. I swear.
Unclenching my hand from hers, quickly moving up the stairs, staring back at her with sorrowed eyes. Seeing her head drop on the stairs as her eyes would close. I'll never forget that day. It burns in my memories like the pits of hell.
Right. TARDIS storage, here we are.
I'd hear stepping from behind me.
You're trying to leave your Time Lord brothers, are you, Storm?
Turning to see Rassilon limping towards me.
You think you can escape your duties, do you? Step away from the TARDIS storage and die like a Time Lord.
Looking to him, I'd push my kids into the storage room behind me.
I don't want to fight you, President, but I will if needed.
He'd be looking at me as he'd lift his gauntlet up.
Fight? You're a coward, Storm. Nothing more, nothing less. You could have been a great fighter, but you're weak.
Looking to him with what he had said, suddenly a smile would grow on my face.
And what's funny?
I'd quickly look to the ceiling.
Well, considering I'm a coward, I won't have to kill you.
He'd let off a laugh at this. I'd quickly pull the sonic pen and aim it at the ceiling. As I'd flip the switch, I'd send an energy pulse to the marble, loosening the structure. It would begin to break and drop towards Rassilon. Thud! The marble would land on his head, knocking him out clean. I'd begin to smile even more. Realizing the time I had wasted, I'd quickly dash into the storage room behind me. Sending my eyes down the aisle, I'd see Blizzard waving and pointing. I'd quickly turn around to see the president knocked out on the floor. All of a sudden, swoosh! Bang! I'd see a Dalek dash straight through the hole I had made, smacking onto the floor, looking almost damaged from the fall, but operational.
Which one's up? Shit, run!
Quickly shutting the doors and dashing to the TARDIS now, sending my keys into the cylinder. I turn with a click. The door would sway open to the side.
Right, Blizzard, keep an eye on that door. I need to stabilize the ship or the energy pulses will kill us all.
My son would nod at me. I dashed to the console of the wooden finished ship with purple velvet lining along each panel, thick bronze panels with all types of gizmos and gadgets anyone could imagine. The console room itself was massive. Pure white all-round, finished off with golden round things on the walls. The floor made of collide marble, with all types of patterns swelled into the design. I'd send my hand to the console. I'd begin to shift switches and pull at buttons, setting the TARDIS up for flight. I'd look out the door to hear the other door would swing open.
Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
Hearing this from the outside, I'd quickly run to the TARDIS door.
No!
Screaming and trying to get them to run in, but suddenly, for some reason, the door would swing shut.
No, this has to be a dream. No, no, please!
As I'd hear a banging and shouting from the other side.
Dad! Please let us in! Dad, open the doors! Why won't the doors open?
Exterminate! 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 Halt! Stay where you are! Do not move!
Suddenly, the TARDIS would take off into flight now. I'd run to the console, quickly placing my hand on a switch. I'd then turn and the portal would dash through the ceiling, the ball surging straight through my chest. I didn't stabilize the ship. It didn't stabilize the ship. I was such an idiot. Suddenly, my body would begin to glow. I'd stare at my hands, panicking, sweating, hyperventilating. I'd look at both hands with all of this.
No, please, not like this, please.
My body would dash back onto the console. Suddenly, orange flames mixed with yellow would fly from my hands and head. My face would begin to shift. My once reddish hair would turn blonde. My bony face would fill out more with a less pale complexion. My eyes would turn to a chocolatey brown. The process had begun. I don't remember much after that. All I know is I was alone. My family was gone. I feared they was dead, but chances of them being alive was almost impossible. Why did the door shut? Where was I headed? This was the day I lost everything, even one of my own lives. That version of me wasn't ready to go out in such a pitiful way.
Maybe I'll tell the rest one day. Maybe I'll get back to Galifrey. But for now, this is the end of my story.